So today is my last day being 27. So it is time for a vlog, and you probably hear Seven Deadly Sins playing in the background because that's what we've been playing for a good part of the afternoon. Birthdays used to be really fun for me. And for some reason, I don't know why, but I get a little down when it comes to my birthday. My husband was the first to notice it. Something about the passage of time and, this depression thing being pretty recent for me, I guess, in the last 4 years. I'm sure that I've always had a little element of it. But of course, it's really taken off. And I can't say that it's really gotten better. Um, it's a daily struggle. I'm going to be 28 tomorrow. I think about all the all the things that I thought I probably would have done by now, and the things that I've done that I didn't think that I'd ever do. Um, I I definitely thought that this would probably be the age at which I would get married and or have a kid. I am married, but I got married when I was 21, and I do not have a kid. Um, I want one. I do, but I have so much more to do, so much more therapy, so many more things to try and achieve before I get to that point. As I move into my late 20s, I did not. I didn't anticipate having PTSD at this age. I didn't anticipate having depression, having anxiety, having all of these issues to battle every day. I really did. I knew, adult life is hard, but I never imagined that. I didn't really know where I was going to be, honestly, because I joined the Air Force, by going to the Air Force Academy when I was 18, and I didn't know if I'd stay for 5 years or for 10, and then shit happened, and the Air Force proved to not be good for me at a certain point, and we left. Um, and that created so much uncertainty um, of what the future held. And so I guess I never really knew where I'd be at this point. I can look back a year, and a year ago, I had just moved to New York, and I had left the Air Force, and and it was just a whole new fucking world. It still is. Like, once you've been in the military like that long, or like in a military environment for that long, and for me that was like 9 years. You're always going to feel like an alien, and I still do. But I definitely felt like one a year ago. A year ago, I was overweight. I was um, nervous about just being here, and realizing that the choice that we had made to live here, to move here, like right after the Air Force, not knowing what the fuck, like not even knowing like how the fuck to behave like normal people, like how to function like normal people. That was like, that was scary enough. Um, but a year ago, still in the same apartment and everything, was performing off Broadway, um, auditioning left and right for stuff, just seeing what happens, because that's all you can do. Um, Dealing, just trying to put so many things behind me. It's so crazy. Like, I feel like 28 is like entering into your late 20s, and you're just so fucking tired, and like there's certain things that were so fun to you before that aren't anymore, like partying and stuff. Like, I like a good brunch, like I like day drinking, but like fucking that's it. Like, it's got to be super lit to get me to go out at night, especially in New York, because it's disgusting and like expensive to go everywhere. So if we're going out in New York, we're taking an Uber. I don't care if I gotta pay for it, but the Uber is taking us everywhere. I am not taking the subway. I'm sorry, I'm too bougie for that shit. Too bougie. um, yeah, it's so funny, and like the things that you end up without at this age. I don't have a relationship with my dad anymore. I cut him out, which is the last thing that I thought I would do because I worshipped him in my childhood, and then getting older and learning that even though you can worship somebody and then later on find out that you were being abused that entire time, that you're being manipulated that entire time. That's the kind of trauma that's very complicated. And so that is something interesting that has happened by this time in my life. Um, but also getting closer to my mom, that's something that's happened by this part of my life. Um, and I find myself in a place where I'm like, I don't feel, I don't know what I feel. Um, you know, depression and stuff, it has made me hard to feel genuine joy for the past 4 years. And sometimes I feel like I really am just taking it one day at a time. Um, and working towards goals because I'm just trying to be the person inside that I know I am, but it's covered up by all of this anxiety and trauma and depression and just managing some of these demons that I have to manage with medication and stuff. And that makes me really sad. Like I've said before, like sometimes I think some of the time I spent in the Air Force, especially my abuse case, like it stole so much time from me, and I feel so old. Like I feel older than 28. I feel so goddamn old and tired, and that makes me sad. I don't know, like, if I'm supposed to have more energy than I do now. Maybe I do. Maybe, like, no one's really supposed to be anything, and I'm just having an unrealistic expectation for myself. Um, and unfortunately, like, I just tend to think of all the things that I was hoping to have by now. Like maybe a kid, a lot, like, to be actually making a living off of being, an entertainer or singer or whatever. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know really what I was expecting. But I can look and I can look back and see how far I've come. I have survived a lot of things. I have survived an abusive childhood. I have survived the Air Force Academy, which was the widest school on fucking earth, and survived like so many awful things being said to me. Um, I went on a world tour. I survived a year and a half of a crazy bitch stalking me. Um, I I I started going to therapy. Um, and a year ago, I was very down on myself, especially for being overweight. And now I'm here and I have lost more weight than I originally planned to. I was at like 165 and now I weighed in at 122 today. So that's quite an accomplishment. I'm signed with a label. I have a producer who I really love working with. I have I'm working on an EP. I have songs. I have original songs that are getting like mixed and mastered and like ready to go, ready to pop off. And I get to release music soon, like as a legitimate recording artist for the first time ever. And then of course the unexpected TikTok career that just popped off out of fucking nowhere that I could not possibly, like, could not possibly predict that. But God surprises you. Um, yeah, I think that there's always something about the passage of time for me because I hate wasting time. Like, I feel like it's an existential dread thing that I'm always aware of, like, how much time has passed and how much time I might have left, and this fear of using my time not wisely or not as well as I can, and an anger at people who I feel have taken time from me that maybe I could have used to my benefit, but now I can't anymore, because once time has passed, you can't get it back. And so I think that maybe that's why for the past few birthdays, I would say maybe the past 3 or 4 birthdays, I have had a breakdown every single time, every year, or a series of breakdowns. And I'm always on the lookout for that. And it sucks. Um, because when you're little, your birthday is something to, look forward to and enjoy. And I do. I have things planned and everything. For my birthday party, but at the same time, like, tomorrow is my birthday and I'm like working a full ass day. Like, the older you get, like, it seems like the less special like that shit becomes, really, and it's just like it's another day. But I try it. But as far as me, because I am so fucking depressed and I struggle with dark thoughts all the time, I try to find ways to celebrate whenever I can. It's probably the Leo in me, because of the extra ass birthday celebration that I'm about to have. And it could be the Leo in me, but at the same time, I think it's also like I want these moments. Like, I want an excuse to be around people that I like, and I want an excuse to celebrate. I need an excuse to celebrate, because there's been so much to not celebrate, and there's been so many days where I've wished not to wake up. And honestly, a part of me is surprised that I have made it to the age of 28, because part of me a few years ago probably thought that I would not make it this far. Um, that maybe I'd throw in the towel, and those moments still come. But I just fight them one day at a time, one moment at a time, and I just try to make a plan for it, for when those moments come. But tomorrow, yeah, tomorrow is 28. It's another year. My husband is way more optimistic about birthdays, and he gets excited about turning older, because it's like, it's one more year that I survived. It's one more year that I've made it. I've lived. And I try to see it that way. I really, really do. But we are two different people, with different upbringings. And so when I see time passing by, I panic. Um, yeah, I panic. That came out of nowhere. Um, I don't know why. I don't know why. Um, yeah, I just did a video about, expectation versus outcome, and how, like, just because you have failures, it doesn't make you a failure. But you still can't help that. You still can't help when you grow up with certain expectations of how your life is supposed to be. And don't get me wrong, like, I'm so blessed. I have a fantastic day job that allows me to work from home and be at home and be safe, and like to be with my dog and my husband and provide for my family and pursue all these things that I want to do. Um, and I try so hard to focus on that. I try so hard to focus on the fact that I have accomplished these things by the age of 28. And I'm trying so hard to, not focus on the things on the things I've lost. My father, um, my mental health, some of my confidence, believe it or not, which is hard as a performer. I try so hard to focus on what I have survived and what I've accomplished instead of all those things that I've lost. I don't know if birthdays are this complicated for other people, but they are for me. I really wish they weren't. Um, but but it is what it is, you know? It is what it is. Um, so I don't know what I'm gonna do tonight. I'm probably gonna work some more. I might edit a video or so and put it up on YouTube. I already did one today, but I decided to do something, off the cuff, and so maybe I'll edit another video. I'll probably just order a bunch of champagne. I don't really drink anymore. I don't. Which is that's crazy. That's something crazy. At 28, I don't drink a lot. I don't drink a lot anymore. It was because I wanted to lose weight. And then also I got on medication, antidepressants that are supposed to they help me lose the weight that was put on by Zoloft, which I do a video about that. But the other side effect, not it's not a side effect, but that particular combination of medication not only helps you lose weight, but it also curbs. It's also used to treat alcoholism. Um, and I don't want to say that I was an alcoholic, but I will say that maybe I was because I drank a lot. I drank a lot in my last few years in the Air Force to cope. And I'm kind of ashamed of it. And I think that's where a lot of the weight gain came from. Definitely didn't help with the depression or the anger or anything. But now I can now say that I don't really drink anymore. The only time I drink is literally when you see me with a glass of wine for skits. And usually that's like the same glass of wine that I use to film like 5 skits in a day, and I nurse that one little thing. So that's good. So I've made those changes. Like I feel a little physically healthier. I'm doing better, I think, dietary wise by my body. But I think I can do better with my self care. Um, I can do a lot of things better. But hey, man, this is 28, and so looking forward. I'm looking forward to what's gonna start popping in my music career. I'm looking forward to whatever the next year holds because I would love to start, you know, a family soon. And so I really hope that things start to pop off in the next year or so. Because honestly, everything I do is so that I can be fulfilled enough and well off enough to. I want to bring a kid into this world, and so, but there's a lot of things that I need to do for myself and my husband first. And so that's where I'm sitting at 28, and trying not to subscribe to this feeling that like women get that once you get to 30, it's fucking over for you. You know what I mean? Um, so yeah, I think those are my thoughts today. Um, Probably gonna have a glass of wine and just try not to focus on all these things that I've lost. And I'm just gonna focus on what's ahead, and I'm gonna focus on my birthday party that's coming up because it's gonna be lit. And I'm gonna have my friends there with me and my husband. So, um, yeah, one day at a time. One day at a time. So, goodbye, 27.